I do brag about that a lot.
Let's hear it.
Getting Virat Kohli out in the final. I actually got him out twice before that as well, when we played them in warm-up games before the World Cup. But yeah, bowling figures, I think, of one for 20-something in 9 overs in the final.
Little medium paces.
Yeah, medium paces. Brad Barnes was our wicket keeper.
Oh, wow, okay.
So he was up to the stumps. One of the best wicket keepers up to the stumps I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So he was there creating pressure. And then I remember Virat hit me over cover for a 6.
Yeah.
And then bowled him like a cut outside off, and then SR at point caught him. And I gave him the biggest send-off, which was fun. I still have a video that someone's like a sort of it's like a WWE send-off.
Welcome to The Biggest Man in Cricket with your host, David Brooke.
Pieter Malan. Cheers, my friend.
Thanks, Brooke.
Welcome to The Biggest Man in Cricket. Thank you for being here. Firstly, it's been a while since I last saw you. I can't even remember the last time. You've been hanging out deep in the N1 at Boerland. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I've been seeing you a lot, obviously on the podcast. I've been watching. It's been really nice.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, it's lovely to see you again.
What you been up to?
Well, retiring for one.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that the official? I was going to ask you deeper in the conversation, but let's get it out the way. Has Pieter Malan officially called time on his playing career?
I have. I think it's sort of it was slightly forced in a sense. I thought I had a couple more years left, but it was going to happen at some stage. So I'm very much a guy that I want to be fully committed to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it's time for the next thing.
Yeah. I mean, you're not one of half measures. So you knew it was coming. I mean, last season, I remember there was a nice announcement from where you are now. We'll talk about your coaching career. There was like a part-time coaching role that you were already getting into last year. So was that always the plan to give it a couple of seasons? It obviously came a bit earlier, but go into coaching straight afterwards.
Yeah, that was exactly the plan. Like, so I could sort of feel that maybe my time was running out, even though I thought I had a bit more left. So it's very much sort of lining up what was next. And ideally, I could have done that for 2-3 more years, kept playing, kept building experience, but it sort of came a bit earlier than I thought it would, but probably for the best. Like I said, it was going to happen at some stage. So it's I'm quite excited now for what's next. So
what's the process now? You do your levels and through Cricket South Africa, and just take us through how that all works.
So luckily through SACA, our Players Association, they managed to get me and a couple of other players into the level 3. So we've actually got our theoretical sort of, call it classroom sessions next week in Pretoria. So excited to sort of start mingling with other coaches and do some theoretical stuff and sort of see what it's all about.
Level 3, basically, if you wanted to apply for franchise jobs, Western Province or wherever, you could actually qualify. Is that right?
Yeah, that's sort of almost the minimum professional level.
Yeah.
If you want to coach at that level, that's what you need to have.
Nice. So how did you coaching at Stellenberg High School? Give us a bit of background into, how that approach came, and did you know one of the coaches or one of the guys in the school?
Yeah, so it's actually through Stian.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so he's friends with the head of sport, I think, at the school.
Okay.
So we spoke earlier in the year, and I wasn't quite ready for it then. But as it sort of worked out, it's 5 minutes from where we live. I'm also getting involved with Durbanville Cricket Club, which is 5 minutes the other way.
Yeah.
So it's very convenient, and we Durbanville people. So it'll be nice to really be part of the community and cultivate the cricket culture there. I think it's
fantastic,
very much rugby at the moment, which I don't mind. I'm a big rugby fan. Very disappointed as I sit here this morning. But I think there's definitely room for cricket as well, and there's a lot of players and a lot of talent. So it'll be exciting to start building a proper cricket culture in Durbanville.
I can tell you one thing: that Stellenberg first team will be the fittest team in the Western Cape. That's for sure. I mean, your fitness regime. We worked together back in the Cape Cobras days and Western Province days. It's something to be admired, and we'll go into your mentality and your fitness levels. But let's just take a step back. Let's go back to Nelspruit.
Yeah.
You were the first of 3 sons to Mr. and Mrs. Malan. Just take us through your childhood and your parents and your upbringing there, and where the love of cricket actually started.
Yeah, I think it was a love of sport, really. I remember we had friends come over once, and the one kid asked, like, where's all your toys? Like, we don't have toys, we just have balls and bats and rackets, and like, it's not what we do. So, I mean, we lived in a lovely sort of little suburb, almost on the edge of Nelspruit at that time. It's sort of been built in now. But there's a massive field behind us. So, I mean, my dad is very, very handy when he wants to be. So, I mean, he put rugby poles up for us in there. Oh, wow. He built us a cricket net. So, I mean, it's when we got home, we'd either go kick at poles, we'd hit golf balls, we'd bowl at each other. Got us a bowling machine, which was
He
fun.
was tired of throwing us.
So I think that was his idea. So, I mean, when Janneman came along, he was, I mean, this high. So, I mean, we'd face and he'd keep nagging us. He wants to bat. So we'd put a tennis ball in just at full pace, and we just kept smacking it. So I remember him running once with a tennis ball stuck in the helmet, just running into the house, like screaming. It's like, we lost our bowling machine privileges for a while after that.
For those who don't know, I mean, you're obviously one of three brothers who have played first-class cricket. Two of you have played international cricket. Just Andre Malan, who's obviously retired now.
The smart one.
Yeah,
he's the smart one.
The smart one. He played, obviously, many years of first-class cricket, and for Northwest, Western Province, etc.
Ended at SWD.
Ended at SWD, and Janneman Malan, one of the, in my eyes, one of the most talented cricketers around, and we'll get him on the show to talk about his career at some point. But being the oldest of those kind of three brothers, I mean, the competitiveness in the family must have been next level.
It was, I think, definitely more between me and Andre. So Janneman came along a little bit later on. So it was he was always the Latlamiki younger one. And like, we got to a stage where we were probably mature enough that we were supporting him all the time. Where I think between me and Andre, especially at primary school, it was a case of, he's on 80 now. It's like, I want him to get 50, but I don't want him to get 100, because then I need to get 150. So it was sort of very, very competitive. And then the backyard games, it turned ugly sometimes.
I can imagine the parents were like, just leave them alone.
Yeah, it's like it escalated sometimes, but it was always very competitive, and it was always nice having someone to play with. And I think it was sort of at iron sharpens iron type of thing. So we always kept pushing each other. And even now, I mean, he's my High Rocks partner, Andre. So
I was going to ask you that, because I saw you guys doing High Rocks, and I'm like, I could have put my house on Pieter Malan and Andre Malan doing something like this together. Just take us through that. Let's talk about the High Rocks. Let's get it out the way.
Yeah, don't get me started. I'm excited about a few, like fitness, whiskey, cricket, like that. So I can talk.
I wanted to talk to you about your whiskey, but we'll get into that.
We'll get to that as well. Yeah, but no, the High Rocks, it's just a fun thing to train for. I think I always, especially now being done playing cricket, like it's nice to have something on the calendar where you go like, that's going to hold me accountable, and you can train for that. And then with Andre, with it being doubles, we train together in his lunchtime sometimes, because he's gone corporate now.
Has he gone full-time corporate?
Yeah, so he works for Fairtree Capital. So
nice. Okay.
But it's also there in Tiger Valley.
Lovely, yeah.
So lunchtime I get him at the gym, and we do our workout, or we go run at the track. So it's just like, again, time to connect as brothers.
Brilliant, eh?
And then we stay fit. And then I'm trying to emulate you. I think correctly you did a half marathon.
Not my fitness.
No, I've not.
I did a marathon, and
you did a full marathon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm only starting with the half. So I managed to get in for the Two Oceans half marathon next year. So that's what I'm currently training for.
No, you'll smash that. But High Rocks is next level. The minute somebody introduces burpees into something, I'm not interested.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a burpee, and then you have to jump.
Yeah.
So we did we've done a couple now, but the previous one we went into the pro division, which is heavier weights, and we decided like we're going for this, where usually we sort of ease our way in and finish strong. So we decided now we're gonna see if we can start strong, be strong in the middle, and finish strong. Bad idea.
How do you actually do you compete against some of the best guys, or
no? Like it's time based.
Okay.
So I mean, we really just trying to improve our time. So the previous one, we thought we finished with some petrol in the tank. So we're like, this time, let's empty the tank.
Yeah.
And that was a terrible idea. Like I thought I'd never do it again. It was not fun. Where this last one, we trained slightly better.
Yeah.
We paced it slightly better. So it's like anything. The more you do it, hopefully the better you get.
I mean, fitness and mental ability has always been part of your, as far as I've known your playing career, but was it always part of your being? Like, or did you realize at some point you're going to have to up your game on that level to take you to the next level?
That's a good question. I was actually thinking about it this morning. I do like to be prepared. So I try to sort of go like, what might you ask about? And like what, so I don't just sit there with a mouthful of teeth. So I was actually thinking like exactly what you're asking now. The 19 years that I played is very much broken up into 3 different parts, where the first 5 years at Titans, it was sort of, I almost call it the lost years, where I came straight out of school. I got it way too easy and sort of just took it for granted. So back then I was never in terrible shape, but it was very much a case of almost do as little as I can and get my talent to carry me, where that obviously didn't work out. And then after 5 years, they said, listen, we're not renewing your contract. And I had to pivot and then moved to Cape Town. And it really took me 4 years between Durbanville and Western Province amateur side to almost rebuild myself and find out what type of player do I want to be. And then that's where I really learned, sort of lent really into the fitness and tried to up that part of my game. And then that helped me mentally. And then sort of just from there, I could build myself into the player I wanted to be.
With respect to the other guests that we've had on The Biggest Man in Cricket, you're probably one of the fittest guys that we've ever had on here. Sorry, Pieter. Pieter was never interested in fitness.
Pieter believes in best when fresh, so, which is fine. But like I'm not. If you're training all the time, you're not fresh all the time.
No, exactly. But I wanted to ask you, like, there's the technical side of the game, but how much improvement on your game does the actual, when you fit basically, and you're sitting in Potch in a 4-day game and it's 40 degrees in summer, is that when, you go from scoring 40 to scoring 140? Is that when it makes the difference?
Definitely. So I mean, there's sort of a saying I've got in my head, and it's something I hopefully can get over to the younger players. That fitness isn't going to necessarily help you score 100 or take 5 wickets, but it can 100% stop you from scoring 100. Because you see a lot of good players, they get to 60, and then as soon as you get tired, the concentration goes, tunnel vision, and especially in batting, one mistake and you're sitting down. So it really just takes that one lapse where the fitter you are, you can obviously sustain it for longer. And to me, it's also just a reflection of how much do you want it? Like, how hard are you willing to work? Because if you're willing to do your running and your gym, to me, that translates into in the middle. Can you knuckle down and really fight for the team in that situation, or are you just going to take the easy way out? So it translates in a lot of different ways, I think.
Your viral fitness regime that during COVID, that for me was one of the, because you weren't one to post on social media often.
I'm still not. I've got very mixed feelings about social media.
But now you're doing your Pieter Malan, your coaching and stuff, which I love. But your video in full 4-day kit, your Western Province kit, during COVID was an incredible video. If you we'll post a link on the socials to that video. It's got huge amount of views. You were doing a full workout regime in your garden.
A very sarcastic, sort of a sarcastic type of workout. But I mean, that just sort of the mindset at that time. It was just no one knew what was going on. We had a 2-year-old at home that we had to entertain all day. So I mean, I just wanted lockdown to end so she could go back to her little school. But it was sort of
fun.
Yeah, it was So I'm proud of myself for that, because it definitely doesn't really come naturally to me.
What was scary was people thought that was like very far-fetched. It wasn't actually that far-fetced. You would do something similar.
I would do all the movements. I just wouldn't do just one of each.
Maybe not in full kit as well, but that was good. That was good value. But Pieter, just take me back to the Northerns side, and you obviously made the Under-19 World Cup in 2008. Who was your teammates? Who were the guys in that team at that time?
We had a good team. I think in terms of people who went on to play professionally, that was probably one of the deepest teams we had. So I mean, you had run through the names here. Riley Rousseau played, John Smuts played, Reza Hendricks,
Sure.
Wibber Spinar played, so he's doing
In
really
America,
well
yeah.
in America now.
Yeah.
I think he played in the CPL now,
Yeah.
I think, as well. Yassine Vali played. S.R. Engelbrecht, who obviously played a lot here and then went on to represent Holland.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing a few guys. Wayne Parnell was captain. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
your previous
Parnell
guest as
captain,
well, yeah.
So
Yeah, so I
that's
mean,
a
it was
coincide. It's not often that the majority of the side go on to play professional. You see guys dropping off and only maybe 2 or 3 guys coming through. That's a hell of a strong side.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm missing 1 or 2, but I mean, that was sort of the bulk. And I mean, it was guys like Ratzi van der Dissen, Dave Miller, Dwayne Pretorius didn't make that side.
Sure.
Which I use them as examples a lot to younger players. So like, listen, you can maybe missing out on under 19 team here or there, but I mean, I
Doesn't mean anything,
I
yeah.
played in that World Cup. Dave Miller didn't.
Yeah.
Where's Dave Miller now?
Yeah.
So it doesn't mean if you miss one team that's gone. There's a lot of different routes to where you need to be.
But there's one highlight from that doesn't get spoken about a lot, and it doesn't involve batting. Can you share with us what that highlight was for you from a bowling point of view?
I thought you were referencing SR's catch.
No, that catch was
got,
unbelievable. But
that catch got shown on SuperSport for
But your
years and
personal highlight.
I do brag about that a lot.
Let's hear it.
Getting Virat Kohli out in the final. I actually got him out twice before that as well when we played them in warm-up games before the World Cup.
Yeah.
But yeah, bowling figures, I think of one for 20-something in 9 overs in the final.
Little medium paces.
Yeah, medium paces. Brad Barnes was our wicket keeper.
Oh, wow, okay.
So he was up to the stumps.
Yeah.
Like one of the best wicket keepers up to the stumps I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So he was there creating pressure. And then I remember Virat hit me over cover for a 6.
Yeah.
And then bowled him like a cut outside off. And then SR at point caught him. And I gave him the biggest send-off. Which was fun. I still have a video of that. So it's like a sort of it's like a WWE send-off. That it's probably a little bit PG rated, but it was fun.
That's great. I mean, I actually, I always felt, I'm not just saying this, I always felt that your bowling was very underrated. Every time you bowled, you seemed to have a bit of a golden arm, but whoever the captain was didn't really give you the chance to.
Yeah, it's almost, I don't know, if in cricket it's a lot of times it's like, you open the batting, are we going to give other people chances?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got a first class fifer.
Yeah.
I think my first class bowling average is in the low 20s. So
100%. I think that you could have done more with the ball.
Very much underbowled in my career.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But as your biceps got bigger, maybe it was more difficult to bowl.
A bit heavy on the petrol. So it's like, just focus on your batting. And batting was difficult enough, so it's probably a good thing to just focus on that.
Were you always an opening batter, or was there a time in your career where, in the first part, you middle order?
At school, I just opened the batting because I just wanted to face as many balls as possible. And then as I went sort of under 19, I was opening bat. And then I think for Titans and Northerns, I was like a 3-4 bat for a while. But then there was sort of, I feel if you can open, you can bat anyway.
Yeah.
Where not necessarily the case. If you're a middle order batsman, opening is quite different. But if you can face the new ball, it sort of sets you up for wherever you need to bat.
Is opening the batting one of the loneliest jobs in cricket?
I wouldn't say lonely, because I mean, it's nice to have your opening partner there. I mean, it was very special for me to open with Janneman for quite a few years at the Cobras, and it'll always be special moments walking down the steps at Newlands with Janneman, looking at the mountain and going like, where we started from, this is actually really, really cool.
Yeah.
But I'd say it's a very mentally demanding job, because you either straight in on the first morning and everyone's fresh and raring to go and the wicket's green and the ball's new, or you fielded 120 overs and you've literally got, it's not, they say it's 10 minutes, but it's not, because by the time you get in the change room, it's already like 2 minutes gone. So you got to then go pad up, out you go, and then if you're out first ball or first over, then you got to go sit down and watch the whole day, which was always so frustrating to me, because I love to be involved.
Yeah,
So
I always felt for the coach if that happened, because you would say to the coach, right, we're going to the nets in the morning, and the coach is going to sit there for an hour just throwing balls to you because you were like, no.
Yeah, it was very much like that. Between Faik and Ashwell at the Cobras, that was my sort of time where in the mornings we'd be in the nets, and it was just grafting, trying to secure my place in the Cobras, and then sort of go from there. But it took a while for me to sort of become the player who'd be willing to do that.
Just take me through that, coming down to Western Province. Like, how did that happen? Did one of the coaches, or did you just...
Actually, it's a funny story when I think about it now. So I lost my contract sort of beginning of 2013, and myself and Sune, I proposed the previous November. So I mean, I just proposed, lost my contract a few months later, and so our wedding was set for April 2013. So she's planning the wedding. I'm sort of dealing with, all right, I've lost my job. Didn't study at that point, so that what you're going to do now. And then I can't exactly remember how first contact was made, but I started chatting with Western Province, Nabil Dean, still in charge back then, yes. And it sort of came out that they're willing to offer me a semi-pro contract it was not a lot of money. But then Doc Passon, the Fries Passon from Durbanville Cricket Club, I'm not exactly sure how he joined the fray, but he sort of came in and said, listen, from Durbanville Cricket point of sight, they'd be very happy to sort of
top you up,
help me out in a few different ways, and sort of almost make it worthwhile to come down.
Nice.
So it was on the morning of our wedding, I spoke with Nabil and said, listen, all right, we coming. Because we got married, went to England for the off season to play club cricket.
Nice.
And then while I was there, Doc Passon helped us with our first apartment in Cape Town. Okay. And we came back and got our stuff in Pretoria and drove down.
Jeez. And then you made your way into the Western Province, the 3-day side, the semi-pro side.
Yes.
I mean, that was a very strong side at that time, but did you come down going like, right, I've got something to prove here? And was the mentality, did you feel that shift from, I need to do something better than what I did up north?
Maybe not immediately. I think at that stage I was 23, so still very, very young, immature. And I think at that stage I just wanted to play. So I mean, I came in, Faik Davids was coach.
Yeah.
And we started working. And the first season was actually really difficult. We won the 3-day comp, but we played on green mambas. Yeah. I mean, we were bowling side, or we were getting bowled out for 100 and then bowling sides out for 60. It was just playing at Western Province Cricket Club. Like, I remember walking into those change rooms thinking like, what have I signed up for here? Like,
tough scenes as a batter.
Like, I'm averaging low 30s. Like, we're winning and everyone's sort of happy, but this isn't going to get me up to that next level. And then from there, it was sort of building up my game. Because again, coming from Pretoria, you're playing on wickets like that. Yeah. You can just stand up tall, cut, pull, sort of hit the ball on the up, where in Cape Town, not really a recipe for success.
No, it's tough to be a batter in Cape Town. Is it fair to say then that kind of 2015, 2016 period was when you really took your game to the next level, and you got finally noticed by the professional coach Ashwell at the time, and you got your opportunity to really shine? Yeah,
it was a process. Like I say, it's sort of marrying the Highveld game with coming to Cape Town. Bit more nip, the ball keeps lower, so you have to be stronger on the front foot. I had a foot that I was planting massively. And I mean, Faik, when we're talking about coaches throwing balls, he must have thrown thousands of balls, and it was always just try and hit the stumps. And I would try and hit straight, and it just got better, and it sort of, as that grew, along with the fitness and sort of a bit more committed version of myself, I started scoring more consistent runs. And it was a blessing, I think, because I think a lot of players don't have that now, the way the structure's built, where it's sort of, you either make the jump immediately or you get cast aside, where I obviously got signed very early and I didn't do horribly, but I didn't do as well as I could. But then I had the opportunity to drop down a level, rebuild myself, and sort of find my method. And then when I got my opportunity again, I was ready.
How do I phrase this? You've got to be, as a cricketer, there's an element of being selfish. You have to be selfish because you play, especially at that amateur, that semi-pro level, you're playing for your life, your lifeline, basically. I mean, you're playing for your contract, you're playing to get into a professional team and ultimately Proteas. But like,
also when I made my debut, that was actually something that stuck in my mind, and I blurted it out in a press conference where they were asking about the pressure of.
I was going to ask you that. I wanted to actually read your quote. So let me read your quote.
Okay, sorry, I'm jumping in.
No, it's perfect. I wanted to read this quote because it was a beautiful quote. You said, this was after your test debut at Newlands. You said, it's not pressure, it's privilege. Pressure is when you're playing in a semi-pro game when nobody is watching and you're fighting for your career. And the media absolutely lapped that quote up because it showed the hard graft that you've gone through. Just take us through that mentality.
Like I said, that's sort of the reality, and that's where the real pressure is sort of in that moment where you're very much unseen and you're trying to make your way through. And it got to a stage that last season, I think it was 2016, I was turning 26, 27. It was getting to a stage where it's either now or never. And every year I did sort of well for Western Province, and I think okay, I'm going to get my chance now. And they go nah, you're not getting a Cobra's contract, we're just giving you another semi-pro. And then poor Faik, he'd have to rebuild because it just shattered me. And I was like, well, what am I doing this for? And it takes a while to build yourself up again, and you go again, and sort of you get broken down again. And then that season, I think I scored
over 1,000.
I scored over, averaged 120, got 500s, and I scored two double hundreds, scored big runs. And then at the end of that season, sort of the whisper going around was, you're still not getting in. And then someone from the little cricket club actually offered me a job. He's like, listen, these guys are messing you around. I think he had an alcohol distributing company, which I thought I could fit in because I'm a whiskey enthusiast. Thought I can sell and collect and do whatever. And myself and Sunay seriously discussed it. We're well, at some point we want to start building a family, and you can't just indefinitely keep going on, which I think a lot of cricketers sit in that position, especially at that level. You go well, this is my passion and my dream, but for how long can I keep doing this before building whatever? And I remember exactly where I was when I sort of got I think it was a text saying listen, we're going to give you a contract. I was okay, well, we have to we have to take this now. This is what we've been working for. And it was a 1-year minimum contract at the Cobras, but it was acknowledgement. And meant that I could train obviously with them pre-season. I could finally fix the shoulder. I was playing with a torn labrum for 2 seasons because I had to go overseas because I couldn't just survive on the semi-pro money, which as a little sub note was actually, again, it's a lot of happy accidents in my life where it happened playing in Ireland, I think. Yes, it happened in Ireland. So I dove for a ball, and I remember I was trying to drink a beer after the game, and it just felt like someone stabbed me in the shoulder. I was well, that's not good. But I mean, if it doesn't require an immediate operation, I'm not gonna not play. So what that ended up doing, it helped me with my discipline in batting because I literally couldn't play a cover drive. I couldn't go past sort of this, or it just feel like there's a knife in there. So people thought I was really disciplined in leaving well. I literally just couldn't play the shot. So they thought leave. We have to ball straight at him. Where if they just bowled at me there all day, I wouldn't be able to score a run.
That's brilliant.
Luckily, I got the contract and then went well, I don't have to go overseas now. Book the surgery. got the surgery done so I could maybe play the shot again. But then I was sort of in, and I think my first game was in Bloem. I got Duan Willifee knocked me over with that classic ball you get as an opener, pitch middle, hit off. Feet maybe slightly not, but I mean, it's just a good ball. I was here we go again. It's just always so difficult. And then the next game in PE, I scored 100. But I was so worked up before the game because I knew I probably have 2 or 3 games. And then if you're not right, you're gone. I mean, I remember walking up and down the stairs, I couldn't sleep. Got 100 in that game, and then sort of from there, that started the next chapter of my career.
When you face that much stress all the time and up and down, even when you're scoring 1,000 first-class runs, is there always this little thing at the back of your mind that you're 1 innings away from being dropped?
I think for me, it's almost that I don't want to call it trauma, but it sort of that feeling of sitting in the office at Supersport Park being told, like, listen, like, we don't want you anymore.
Yeah.
And like that feeling always sat with me. So even when I was doing really well at the Cobras and sort of probably almost a fixture in the team at some point, it was always a case of, listen, you are 2 or 3 games away from someone telling you, listen, you're done.
Yeah.
So that was always it. I wouldn't say it's a very comfortable spot to be in, but it does keep you motivated and sort of keeps you pushing for the next thing. But it can be quite tiring.
I used to watch you play, and I could somehow see when you were going to score a big 100. And Pieter Malan doesn't score 101. He scores like 180, 140, he scores big hundreds. Like, was there just this time in your career where you were seeing the ball like an absolute watermelon and you could do no wrong in the batting?
I think that there was a lot of motivation. I remember, well, again, it's always a lot of things that go into it. So a big thing timing-wise, we had Evan Flint as groundsman at Newlands, which, as hard as that first season was when we were playing at Western Province, that sort of season that I broke through into the Cobras, the wickets at Newlands were just, it was unbelievable wickets.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call them roads, but if you applied yourself and you could bat.
Yeah.
And the outfield was lightning. So, I mean, between that, sort of the years of 2-3 years of really building my technique and fixing a few things that was wrong, and then that determination of, I remember looking over my shoulder at where Nabil Dean's office was. I can walk into Newlands now and I can show you that was his office. And I'd get to 50 and I'd look up and I'd say, like, it's not enough. I'll show you. I'll get to 100. I'll show you.
Yeah.
And it was sort of just that whole mindset of, like, 100 by itself wasn't the thing. It was like, how big 100 can I be? Like, how can I break this door down that they can't refuse me?
And then you raise your bat to that office there and say,
well, it's actually pretty bad for me. At some point at Western Province, I stopped raising my bat because I told Faik, like, what's the point? Like, it's, if I score 100 or not, like, they're not noticing me. So, I mean, S.R. Engelbrecht was very upset with me because he's a very purist cricket guy.
Yeah.
So I remember also it was a game I got to 200 against Boland, and then he was captain in that stage. And I started slogging, like, the next 2 balls, like slogging myself off my feet. And he declared, he's like, "No, I want you to be not out." It's like, just let me have some fun. He's like, "No, you want to be not out." And I mean, that's the mindset you need to have. So he was a couple of years ahead of me in terms of that. But yeah, it was a good time. I think looking back, it was sort of a lot of hard work. Sort of, went into that.
When you look back on your career, like, you didn't have the opportunity to enjoy it as much as it was work, and it was like always fighting. Do you regret looking? Do you look back and go, I wish I enjoyed it a little bit more, or had the opportunity to? It's
something I thought about. It's sort of that balance. I think that's what I tell my kids all the time. Like, it's about balance. It can't just be one or the other.
Yeah.
Where you can obviously, I think when I was younger, I enjoyed it too much. And it was just about having fun and sort of just let go. Like, we called ourselves cowboys. Myself, Sean van Berg, Rassie, and Edison back then. Like, we had a really good northern side, and we were cowboys. Mali Bongo Maketa was it was his first team he coached. So I'd like to think that we sort of helped shape them as well, because we were hard work. Like, we played hard, and then we partied hard as well. Where I think later on it got to a stage where I was almost more relieved when I did well. It's kind of like, instead of really enjoying it. So it's, if I can look back, I actually did an Instagram post this week saying, like, that's part of the thing, is while you're in it, you're so focused on that next score or the next team or sort of what's next that you sort of miss what's right in front of you. So.
And it took a long time. You stood the test of time, you battled it out, and then you finally got your opportunity. England Test Series in South Africa, 4-match Test Series. You're in the squad as like a standby for Aiden. Aiden plays the first Test match.
I don't think I was in the squad as an opener. So for that first test at Supersport Park, it was very much because he'd been struggling with form at that stage. And it was very much a case of which one is Pouch going to go with.
Okay.
And he sort of went with him. So, I mean, there was that Boxing Day. So I got told, I think the day before Christmas, listen, you're not playing, so you can almost go home. So I came home to Cape Town and they played that test. And I remember, I didn't watch everything, but I remember someone saying, like, listen, it looks like Aiden got injured somewhere. And he actually I sent him a text saying, listen, hope you're well. And like his reply was, fingers gone, think you'll be playing the next game, like all the best, and like that type of thing. And then got the call. And
who called you at the time? Who was the coach at the time who called you?
That's a good question. It might have been Bouch. I can't remember that specifically, but then I remember they came down to Cape Town for the New Year's test, met up with them on the 2nd, and we had a couple training sessions, and then after the second one, like Bouch came over and was like, listen, you play.
I remember, Stephen, when we chatted to Stephen Cook at the time, he said that he had so much preparation against some of the quality bowling over the many years of his first-class career that when it came to that international level, he was ready. When you got to that point, walking out in Newlands with Dean Elgar there, I mean, it was your home ground at the time, which is special in itself. But when you walked out there, was this sense of like, I deserve this. I've earned it, and I don't have imposter syndrome. I'm ready for this.
Yeah, I think so. At that stage, like I said, I'd put in the work, and it was just like dealing with the moment. Like a ball's a ball. And I mean, if Jimmy Anderson's bowling at you or KG, like all of them are good bowlers, but I mean, you can go down to club cricket and the club cricketer can get you out. So, I mean, it doesn't always really matter who's bowling at you, but it was more like just the moment, and that first innings, the moment's probably too big for me. And I just like ended up sparring and once sending it straight to slip.
Which is not in the Pieter Malan playbook.
Very much so. I mean, I'd spent 2 years not being able to play that shot. So. But then second innings, like that was a case of just get through. But it was always the case for me. Like I was a very, very sort of iffy starter, where it's always a case of like you need to, if you don't get me early, once I'm in, I'm not going to give it away. So they got me early that first innings, but then the second innings, I got in and sort of really
scored 84, I think it was in that second innings. Like we were chasing 430 yards.
Yeah, we were just batting out. We were literally just trying to bat out the game. So it's a case of just bat out time, try not to get out. And we got close. It would have been really nice to save that game, but it was a great experience. I mean, a full Newlands domestic cricket. You don't really play in front of crowds. So, I mean, that's something that was quite different, but that was an amazing experience.
But knowing Pieter Malan, that 16 runs would have irked you rather than looking at 84 as this is my second innings in Test cricket and I've got a half century.
Yeah, it was sort of weird. Like that innings was different in the sense of the runs was sort of, it was a...
You weren't going to chase the score.
Yeah, it was an important thing. Like it's always a case of for me was what's needed now. Like if it's runs, let's see how many runs we can get. In that case, it was time. It was like, how long can I bat? I think it was 269 balls. Could be something in that thing. So I mean that was the thing. Like how long can you bat? It was six and a half. So I mean I remember that more. I remember the balls and the time more than the runs.
And you probably saved every single ball because you didn't know how many you were going to get.
Yeah, well, that's the weird thing. I mean, once I started batting, and it's always been like that, where you sort of walk out and you take everything in, but then once the bowler starts running in, it's whether you're at a full Newlands or you're playing at Durbanville on a Sunday, that's the battle. And again, for me, even if it's in the nets, I hate getting out. Well, hated. No one's getting me out anymore now. So I mean, that's the one good thing. But like even in the nets, that irked me. Borrow your word.
When you look back at it and you look at where you were, kind of leaving Titans, no contract there, and then you look at the end of January 2020, and you've got 3 Test matches under your belt. Did you feel that there could have been more after that because those were the only Test matches that you got the opportunity to play in? Do you feel that there could have been more, or were you like, okay, I'm grateful for the 3 that I was, because where I was before, I could have been selling alcohol and being a salesman around the country.
No, very much both of them. We're obviously super grateful and proud to have played 3 tests. And I do realize like there's a lot of good players that did well for a lot of seasons that never got the opportunity. So I'll take my 3 tests and run with it 100%. But sort of we had those 3 tests and I felt I showed something. I definitely didn't do enough to keep my place just on pure performance. But I felt sort of with the track record I had, there was something. And then COVID happened. And then after COVID, they just went in a completely different direction for whatever reason. So I definitely felt there could have been more. But I mean, it's the way I look at a lot of things. It could have been a lot better, but it also could have been a lot worse.
But you know, in typical Pieter Malan fashion, you fought back and you went back into domestic cricket. You then joined.
Well, I never really left. I only played.
You never nationally contracted, so you're always in domestic cricket. But you moved to Boland, kind of when the new system kicked in. Just take me through that. You became the captain of Boland, which was. I always felt that you were an excellent captain. That you weren't given the captaincy role as much as maybe you had other leaders around you at Western Province and Cobras, etc. But did you enjoy the captaincy role when you moved over to Boland?
I did, especially sort of with Boland just coming into Div 1 then at that time. It was a case of sort of building something, and along with 80 Burrell, that's a season I really enjoyed. And it was a case.
AD was the coach at the.
Yeah, like he was sort of the founding coach there, and we had a lot of success when we won that T20 comp. We caught
that
lightning.
Must have been very satisfying.
We caught lightning in a bottle in that tournament where it was still like a semi-bubble, so everything was played at St. George's. We had really good spinners, and the wickets just got worse and worse throughout the comp. But for Boland, the reason I moved there was obviously captaincy, but also the chance to play all formats. Where at the Cobras, I felt sometimes I was sort of pigeonholed as just a red ball player that could maybe play a bit of 50 overs. So going to Boland was a case of, listen, I can play all 3 formats and sort of really just prove to people that I can. And I mean, then being player of the tournament in that T20 competition and winning it was very satisfying.
Is it fair to say that that's one of the highlights of your career?
It was, because it was also the way we started. We lost our first 2 games. Like the first 2 games, we got absolutely whooped by Western Province and Titans. So, I mean, we 0 out of 2. You're only playing 7 games. So, I mean, we're looking at, if we lose another one, we're done. I'm thinking like, sure, it's the worst captain in the world. Because I think the first game against Western Province, I lost the toss. I dropped Richard Levy on like 10 and he scored like a 60 in typical Richard Levy fashion. And I got out first ball. So I was like, well, probably can't get any worse than this. And then the third game against Northwest, we were cruising. And then Dwayne Pretorius decides he's just going to hit every ball for 6. And they end up tying and we go to a super over. And I think the first ball of the super over also went for 4 or 6. And I was like, well, okay, this is us. We're done. And we somehow ended up to win that game. And then we went on a run. And yeah, I mean, the final against the Titans, that's a superstar side there. If you go look, I think it was Quinton de Kock, Tienis de Bruin opening the batting. Donovan Ferreira played, Brevis played, Shamsi, Lazard, Heinrich Klaassen. I mean, it was pretty much like you could send that team, you could put the Proteas colors on them and send them on a tour, and they do very well.
Team to be there.
No, I mean, we got bowled. I think we were 50 for 5 after 10 overs, and I'm standing there anchoring the innings, and like we was just going like, this is going horribly, and we somehow managed to scrape a 130. And I remember walking into the change and going like 130, like they are going to be nervous about this. And then from there, just like
your bowler just like stifled them. I remember that.
We had a run out, and it was just Hardes Viljoen took a one-handed, caught and bowled. It was lightning in a bottle.
That kit was just shocking, just by the way.
Well, that pink
purple, that was terrible.
I've got
that kit I used to.
I've got a suitcase full of it in my garage. I'll send you one.
You can send me a signed copy. I'll gladly give that away as a prize for somebody. No, but listen, I mean, that was it was wild times, and it would have. It gave me a lot of pleasure. I always, got on with you and Janneman, and to see you guys thriving. When Province lost you guys, I was like, okay, that's a big loss to, you know, your opening pair. Like, you've got to really rebuild. Yeah, I mean, that was tough.
Yeah, I mean, we beat them in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And it was almost a case of, well, we sort of the rejects.
Yeah.
But at that stage, Northwest and Boland were sort of the two teams added to the franchise teams. So, I mean, at Boland, we very much, it was myself, Stian, Hardes, Janneman. Trying to think who else was there. But it was very much a case of almost, it's the people the franchises didn't want.
Yeah.
So for us to then win a trophy in our first year was very satisfying.
It was an incredible effort, eh? Just take me through now. Okay, Pieter Malan is, thank you for confirming on giving us the exclusive here that you've retired.
I kept a lot of people at arm's length because I didn't want a obituary of my career like printed like us. It didn't.
Listen, we're not a stats thing, but I've got your stats here, and I'm going to read it out because they deserve to be read out. 13,959 first class runs at an average of 43.75, with 43 centuries and 56 half centuries from 206 first class matches, which means that basically every second innings you're scoring either a half century or converting it into a
did not feel like century. That while I was playing.
More importantly, 22 first class wickets as well.
Yes, what's the average? Low 20s?
I didn't look at the average column.
With a fiver in there?
With a fiver in there. And then your list A runs, you've got over almost 5,500, 1,500s, 27 half centuries from 136 matches. Then even T20, your strike rate was 118. As you said, you got pigeonholed as a red ball cricketer.
I want to defend myself there where a lot of those T20s were played still in the semi-pro. So you play a 3-day game.
Yeah, and then Sunday you played.
On the same pitch.
Yeah.
So like a lot of those games was like we're chasing 100.
And those pitches were uncovered for most of the time.
We're chasing 120. So if I get 50 or 50, we are winning.
Yeah.
And I mean, at that stage, that's what you want. So
I remember that actually.
Yeah.
Just take, we spoke briefly about your whiskey, your love of whiskey, and thanks for reminding me about that actually. Because I remember you always used to go overseas and you used to come back from Ireland, and Andre used to bring you whiskey, or you used to bring your whiskey back. Just where does that love come from, and what are we talking here from a collection point of view?
So where the love comes from is probably just simply like as a young man, I enjoyed the odd drink or two. And it's sort of, I had a friend, I think his dad collected whiskey, and it sort of got into it that way, and I've just found it fascinating. I mean, obviously a little bit of an acquired taste, but again, it's the more you pay for the whiskey, the better it seems to taste, up to a point. I think there is a point where once you pay past a certain amount, you're just bragging, really. But yeah, it's something I've enjoyed collecting over the years now. I used to sort of have a rule, if I finish one, I'll replace it.
Okay.
But since the kids have come along, like I'm not finishing bottles of whiskey anymore, so Sune got me a very nice whiskey case, so that's pretty full at the moment.
Yeah.
I've started a little brandy collection by accident.
Okay. Yeah.
where I started drinking.
I don't feel that's by accident. I feel like you just say that.
No, it happened where I got gifted, because obviously people like, okay, will gift them a bottle of alcohol, which is always nice. And I had a few bottles of whiskey, and I was like, well, like with the KWV, I've got this one. So I just need 2 more and I'll have the whole set. And it's sort of there. And then from there, it's gone. So the whiskey collection is still there, but not updated as much now. Where with brandy, Sean van Berg gave me a lovely brandy in like a wooden box,
Nice.
as a retirement gift.
Nice.
So that's gone into the collection as well.
I was going to say he gave it to you probably a few months ago already.
No, well, he gave it to me on my birthday.
Okay.
He gave it to me. I'm like, oh, this is really nice. He's like, yeah, it's for your retirement. I'm like, oh, not for my birthday. It's like, is it your birthday today? It's like, no, it doesn't matter, but it's sort of a W. You covered all your bases there.
That's great. We've got a few questions just to finish off, and then I want to ask you kind of a couple more questions at the end. It's called Play or Leave. It's a section, quick answers. Okay.
So this is with my shoulder fine now. Otherwise, I'm leaving most of it.
Favorite ground to play on?
Newlands.
A former teammate you go to war with?
Sure. Sean van Berg. Easy. No.
Worst bit of advice a coach ever gave you? The worst ever?
Worst bit of advice. I might have filtered it out. It's a good question, actually. That's a question I've never thought about. I've thought a lot about the worst coaches I've had and what they did, but
You don't have to mention names, but what is maybe something that a coach did that you thought, no, this is
so it's like I've been writing my coaching philosophy for the level 3 coaching course.
nice?
And I think it's very similar to being a dad, where the best coaches, they care and they're emotionally stable. So the technical stuff, I mean, you obviously have to know your cricket. But for someone like A.D. Burrell, he obviously had a lot of cricketing knowledge, but that's not what I remember him for. I remember him for being so, you wouldn't know if he won or lost.
Yeah.
He was always the same, and he genuinely cared about his players. Like, it wasn't just okay, like some coaches, if you score runs, you're their best friend.
Yeah.
And if you don't score runs, like, he does. Like,
Back of the line.
yeah, it's like, you go sit there. Where with AD, it was always very much cricket second, in the sense of it was always the main thing, but it's the person first. So that's something I'd rather go that side.
Love it. Yeah, a lot of people have spoken exactly about AD about that, like that. Right, big question. Which one do you prefer? High rocks or the bleep test?
Oh, no, High Rock's much better. Like, I can push sleds and I can throw balls. And like, no, the bleep was the bleep is the continuous one. Yeah, because the yo-yo was the one.
Yeah.
But I mean, cricket needs to make up its mind, because we went bleep, then we went yo-yo, then we went 2K, then we went something. I think the Broncos in there now. They went back to the bleep. It's like someone needs to fix that.
I remember that. People were asking questions, why this and that. One bowler in your career you just love facing?
I loved facing. There's a lot of them I hated facing.
Who did you hate face? That?
For some reason, Glenton Steedman just like, I don't know if it was action or him,
swing.
Robbie Fryling. No, it was like the timing of his action. Because like some bowlers, you could just line them up in a sense of that my timing and their timing just clicked. With someone like a Robbie Fryling or Glenton, just their timing, I always felt rushed. It's like, that's probably those two immediately come to mind.
I feel Glenton should have, like, fitness-wise and stuff, if he was less injury prone, etc., like he would have had a few test matches.
Skill wise, like I was very glad when he came to Boerland. It meant I had to face him in the nets, which wasn't fun.
It's fun.
At least it doesn't count for cricket for stats.
No, he's a gun, huh?
Yeah.
Then kind of one thing or one rule that you would change in cricket.
This is something I started working on for my coaching.
Yeah.
But so at the moment I can bowl left hand and right hand spin.
I saw that actually.
Yeah. So I started doing that
on the sidearm.
Well, I can throw and bowl.
Okay.
So I can throw left with the sidearm and I can bowl left arm spin. Because in my mind, that's what I wanted a coach to be. Where if you're preparing, because everyone just faces right arm, side arm.
Yeah.
I mean, you face a lot of them in the game, fine, but you also face a lot of spin. Then you have a lefty, and I mean, you never practice against that. So from my point of view, if I'm coaching a player, I want to prepare him as well as possible, because that's when I played my best. So we spoke about that sort of golden time when I was scoring hundreds and just doing well.
Yeah.
A big part of that was in the middle going, I've prepared as well as I possibly can. I trust what I've done. Now I can just play. Where previously, maybe when I haven't done so well, you're thinking, don't fall over or don't do this. Instead of, you get to a point where you're so well prepared, you can just be in the moment. My dad always said in Afrikaans, wees waar jy is. Like, be where you are. So I mean, that's always, I overthink things quite a bit. So I'll be there and I'll be there.
Yeah.
But if you're well prepared, you don't have to worry about that. You can just be present. So as a coach, I want to prepare players. So it's a bit of a detour there.
No.
But I'll come. The rule is a batsman doesn't have to tell you when they switch it.
Yeah.
So as a bowler, because I played a couple of club games where I bowled. They allowed me to bowl. Actually, in the first class game I bowled, I got Jason Smith out with off spin. Yeah. And then I bowled left arm spin late in the over. But you have to tell the umpire.
Yeah.
So Jeremy Fredericks was so confused. I think he's like, what? It's like, the commentary was actually quite funny. But I feel you shouldn't have to tell the umpire.
Yeah.
If you're going to bowl left or right. Because if you can, that's a skill.
Yeah.
So now, like, if I can just run up and the batsman doesn't know which way, I mean, he's going to see eventually.
100%.
It's not like I can hide it.
Yeah.
But up until I run up, he can't have a plan and he's got to have two thoughts. Where, as a batsman, you can switch. So in that sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
100%.
Umpire, I'm going to switch it now.
Yeah.
Same thing. So I feel like, because there's a guy in England that can do it. I think it's Ben Calloway.
Okay.
Something I think he plays county cricket, so he can bowl off spin and this,
Nice.
but he's got to tell the umpire, which I think they should change that
I like
because it's
it.
a skill.
Listen, I think from a coaching point of view, if you can do sidearm and you can do all those kind of skills, you'll be a very crucial asset from a coaching point of view around the world, even in franchise cricket around the world. So I think go for that.
Well, that's sort of my plan. Like as a coach, I can hopefully now the lessons that took me 20 years to learn in cricket. Obviously, I still don't know what I don't know in terms of coaching.
Yeah.
But I feel a lot of that. I told Sune, it's almost like I've studied for 20 years now for the job I'm going to do now.
Yeah.
So I can really take all that experience and, like I say, if I can throw with both arms, I can give good advice, I can connect to players. I've got exciting sort of collaboration with a thing called Full Track AI in terms of analysis. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want to bring into the coaching space that can hopefully make a difference to players.
Fantastic. There's one final question I want to ask you as we close off. I really enjoyed our chat. Thank you. What does a Pieter Malan say to, and not just a cricketer, but any kind of man or woman that's sitting at home in a job that they don't feel that they're going anywhere, they're not getting to where they want to be? What do you say to them as somebody who's persevered through hard times, good times, and really kind of reached that pinnacle?
I think it's important to be passionate about what you do, because if you love what you do, then you are going to persevere. So, I mean, I've always loved cricket. I've loved the competitive side of it, sort of the technical tweaking, always improving side. So I feel if you really love what you're doing, you are going to invest into getting better. And for me, it was never effort going to the gym or running. Like that was just, I loved that part of the process. If anything, towards the end of my career, and that's probably sort of a little red flag that it was almost time to retire, I enjoyed the training and preparing side more than the playing side, because that's a controllable.
Yeah.
Playing, you can hit 1,000 balls and you don't even make a mistake. You just get a bad decision and you're gone. Or, I mean, you can go out the night before, have a few drinks, sleep a couple of hours and blitz 100. So, I mean, that was always a bit of a disconnect where within the gym or with running, if you put in the work, you get the result. And in cricket, it's the same thing. And in life, sometimes it's not just as linear. It takes a while, but generally it comes out. So, I mean, if you're passionate about something, that means you're going to be willing to put the work in, and you're doing the work just for the sake of the work. You're not doing it for the end result, because the end result is a byproduct. Where someone once told me, sort of put your goal there, work out what you need to do day to day to get there, and then you erase the goal. You forget about it. You can check in every now and again and see if it still aligns with what you're doing. But if that aligns with what you're doing every day, they'll happen naturally.
Love it. Pieter Malan, listen, ladies and gents, well, please follow Pieter on social media. Follow Stellenberg High School, because I think this is going to be a school to watch in the cricket space. But Pieter, it's been an absolute joy witnessing your career from very close by. I always admired your work ethic and your skill level and your humbleness and just your way of going about things. I think you're going to be an incredible coach. I feel for those kids, they're going to be running and in the gym, but that's their problem that they need to deal with, and it's a good problem to have. So thanks very much for being here, Paul, and all the best, and love to Janneman and to Andre. We'll get Janneman on here at some point, but wishing you guys all the best, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Brookie.
Thanks, mate.